In the huge, shining hall of the Galactic Council, bright lights bounced off strange alien skins and glowing eyes. Thousands of leaders from every corner of the galaxy sat in floating seats. They talked in low voices, clicks, and hums. Today was a big day. They had to decide who would fight the bloody war on Plaxia Prime. President Zotrar floated high above everyone. His long silver body sparkled like metal. He was old, very smart, and everyone respected him, even if they feared him a little. When he spoke, the whole room became quiet. "Friends of the stars," Zotrar said in his deep voice, "the enemy has taken Plaxia Prime. That planet is now a nightmare. Poison gas floats everywhere. Killer drones never stop hunting. Their soldiers come in endless waves. We must send our strongest fighters to take it back." Heads nodded all around. They all knew Plaxia Prime. It had eaten armies before. First, the council picked the Lyak. These tall, thin aliens had bright blue eyes that glowed. They could look into minds, twist thoughts, and make enemies shoot their own friends. No secret was safe from them. Next came the Krieg. Giant insect warriors covered in thick black shells. Their claws cut through stone and steel. They could dig tunnels faster than machines and surprise enemies from below. Then the council added more. The Vexer, fast flyers with razor wings. The Thul, huge armored beasts who laughed at laser fire. And the Shadow Walkers from dark moons, who moved without sound. Someone said one more name. Humans. Laughter exploded through the room. A Krieg general made a sharp clicking laugh. Humans? Those soft little things from Earth? No shells. No mind powers. No wings. They break like dry sticks. A Vexer flapped his wings and laughed louder. They will scream and run in the first minute. Or die crying. The galaxy has already forgotten them. Zotrar lifted one long hand. The laughter stopped. "They asked to join," he said slowly. "A small group. Only 200 volunteers. We can let them come. It will teach them a lesson. They will see real war and understand how weak they are." More quiet laughs. One leader whispered, "They will be gone before lunch." The decision was made. The great fleet prepared. Massive ships filled with warriors jumped through hyperspace. Inside the command ship, Zotrar watched screens that showed everything. The ships landed hard on Plaxia Prime's cracked red ground. Warriors jumped out ready to fight. The Lyak attacked first. Their minds reached out like invisible hands. Enemy soldiers froze, turned, and killed each other. Easy. Krieg dug fast under the first walls. Explosions shook the ground. Enemy forts cracked open. Drones dropped from the sky like broken toys. Happy reports came one after another. Lyak Control Sector 4. 0 losses. Krieg tunnel success. Enemy running. Zotrar smiled wide. Our best cannot be stopped. The humans landed last. Their ships were small and plain, no bright shields, no giant guns. Just soldiers in simple gray armor. They stepped onto the ground quietly. No shouting. No big show. Hidib, the Lyak commander, looked down at the human captain. The human was shorter, with a hard face full of old scars and calm eyes. "Stay behind us," Hidib said coldly. "Do not slow us down." The human captain gave one small nod. "We will do our best." The battle grew worse. More drones came. Poison clouds rolled in thick waves. Laser beams painted the sky red and orange. Still the Alliance moved forward. Reports stayed good. Then everything stopped. 1 hour passed. No new messages. 2 hours. Zotrar's silver skin felt cold. "Why no reports? Ask them now." A young officer touched his screen. The casualty list finally appeared in bright red letters. The hologram filled the room. Lyak, 18 dead. Krieg, 12 dead. Vexer, 9 dead. Thul, 7 dead. Total elite fighters lost, 58 in only 3 hours. Everyone stared. Then the last line appeared. Humans, 0 dead. The room became silent. No clicks. No wings flapping. Nothing. Zotrar's eyes grew wide. 0?
How?
Hidib's voice came through the comm. It sounded strange, almost afraid. They move different. They see things we miss. They shoot drones before we feel them. They pull our wounded out of fire. One human took a direct laser hit to save a Krieg. He is still alive. Still fighting. Whispers started. They are not dying, a Thul said slowly. But our best are, another added. Zotrar felt something twist inside him. The galaxy had laughed at humans. Called them weak. Called them nothing. But the numbers on the screen did not laugh. The casualty reports had come in. And they told a story no one expected. The real war, the real surprise, was only starting.
Part 2. The first wave. Humans joined the fight. The red dust of Plaxia Prime still hung thick in the air when the human dropships touched down. They were the last to land. Small, boxy ships with no fancy lights or shields. Just metal and guns. 200 humans stepped out in silence. Their gray armor looked plain next to the glowing shields of the Lyak and the black shells of the Krieg. Hidib, the tall Lyak commander, watched them from a rise. His blue eyes glowed as he scanned their minds. He felt nothing special. No fear. No wild thoughts. Just calm focus. It annoyed him. The human captain walked forward. Short, scarred face, steady walk. He stopped in front of Hidib. Hidib spoke first, his voice sharp like breaking glass. You are late. Stay behind the main line. Do not interfere. Your kind will only die faster. The captain looked up without blinking. We came to fight, not to watch. Hidib made a low hiss that was almost a laugh. Then watch and learn how real warriors do it. The enemy did not wait. Alarms screamed across the comms. A new wave came. Hundreds of attack drones buzzing like angry insects, backed by fast-moving ground troops with plasma guns. The Lyak moved first. They raised their thin arms. Blue light flashed from their eyes. Enemy mines broke. Drones crashed into each other. Ground troops turned and fired on their own side. Perfect control. Krieg followed. They dropped to all 6 legs and dug. In seconds, tunnels opened under enemy lines. Black claws burst up from the ground. Shells cracked armor. Screams filled the air. The Alliance pushed forward. Reports came quick and happy. Sector 2 clear. Lyak losses 0. Krieg tunnel success. Enemy armor broken. Hidib felt proud. This would be over soon. Then the humans moved. They did not wait for orders. They spread out in small groups. No big charges. No loud shouts. Just quick steps through the dust. One human spotted a drone high above. It was aiming at a group of wounded Krieg. The human raised his rifle. One shot. The drone exploded in midair. Sparks rained down. Another human threw a small grenade. It landed exactly between 2 enemy heavy guns. Boom! Both guns went silent. Hidib watched. His mind reached out to understand. These humans did not use mind powers. They used eyes, hands, timing. They saw weak spots no one else noticed. A laser bolt hit a Lyak soldier. He fell, screaming. Before anyone could react, 2 humans ran forward under fire. One dragged the Lyak back. The other laid down cover fire. Short, sharp bursts that dropped 3 enemies. The wounded Lyak gasped. Why risk yourselves? The human pulling him said simply, You're on our side now. More fighting came. The enemy pushed harder. Poison gas rolled in low clouds. Drones swarmed thicker. A Krieg warrior took a bad hit. His shell cracked open. Green blood poured out. He tried to crawl back, but could not. A human saw him. Without pause, the human ran across open ground. Bullets kicked dirt around his feet. He reached the Krieg, threw the big insect over his shoulder, and ran back. A laser grazed his arm. Blood soaked the sleeve. He did not stop. Hidib stared. Impossible. The first day ended. The Alliance held the line. But losses had started. The casualty report came to the command ship. Lyak, 12 dead. Krieg, 8 dead. Vexer, 10 dead. Other races, 15 dead. Total elite losses, 45. Then the last number. Humans, 45 dead. The council room on the command ship filled with soft laughs again. See, one leader said. They die fastest. just as we said. Zotrar looked at the numbers. They took the same losses, but in half the time, and our wounded are alive because of them. Hiddib's voice came over the comm. It sounded different now. Not cold, not sure. They did not run. They asked for more ammunition. They want to go again at dawn. Silence fell over the council. The humans had bled. They had died. But they had not broken. And something else was clear. Every time a human died, an alien lived. The galaxy had laughed at them. But on Plaxia Prime, the laughing had started to fade. The real test was coming. And the humans were just getting started. The sun on Plaxia Prime never looked friendly. It burned red and low, like a warning. By the second day, the Alliance had pushed deep into enemy territory. They reached the outer walls of the main base, a huge black fortress made of twisted metal and stone. Inside waited the real horror. The enemy had set a perfect trap. As the front lines moved forward, hidden vents opened in the ground. Thick, green poison gas poured out like water from a broken dam. It rolled low and fast, filling every low spot. The gas burned lungs, blurred eyes, and made minds weak. The Lyak felt it first. Their psychic powers needed clear air to work. The gas choked their thoughts. Blue eyes dimmed. One Lyak soldier dropped his knees, clutching his head. I cannot think, cannot control. The Krieg tried to dig escape tunnels. But the gas sank into the holes they made. Their shells started to crack from the inside. Green blood leaked from joints. A big Krieg warrior roared in pain and fell silent. Hiddib shouted over the comms. Fall back. The gas is too thick. We are finished. Panic spread. Vexor flyers tried to rise above it, but the gas climbed with them. Thull armor held longer, but even they started coughing hard. The humans, though, they did not panic. One human soldier pulled a small mask from his pack. It was simple, black rubber and filters. He put on fast. Then he looked around and saw aliens choking. Without a word, he ran to fallen Lyak. He pulled off his own spare mask and pressed it over the alien's face. Breathe slow. In through here. The Lyak gasped and nodded weakly. More humans did the same. They shared masks. Some tore cloth from their own uniforms and tied it over alien mouths. They moved quick and calm, like they had done this before. A human sergeant yelled, "We know this stuff. We fought worse gas on Earth training grounds. Stay low, move fast." Hiddib watched in shock as humans pulled his people out of the worst clouds. One human even carried a wounded Krieg on his back through the green fog. The human's eyes watered, but he kept going. Then the human spotted something. A weak spot in the enemy wall. A small crack where the gas vents were connected. The enemy had hidden it well, but humans saw the pattern. Pipes. Valves. Weak metal. One human pointed. There. If we break that line, the gas stops. Hiddib understood instantly. His mind, now clearer with the mask, reached out. Krieg. Dig to that spot now. A group of Krieg, helped by human hands, dug fast. They reached the pipe in minutes. A human placed a small charge, simple explosive from his pack. Fire in the hole. Boom. The gas vents exploded shut. The green cloud stopped coming. Fresh air rushed in. The Alliance breathed again. Hiddib felt his powers return. Strong. Clear. He sent a mine blast through the new hole in the wall. Enemy soldiers inside screamed and turned on each other. Krieg poured through the breach. Claws ripped armor. Humans followed right behind. They shot clean and fast. Every bullet hit a weak joint or eye. No waste. Together, it was deadly. Lyak mines confused the enemy. Krieg broke their lines. Humans found every hidden trap, every sniper nest, every weak point. The enemy started to fall back. For the first time, Hiddib felt something new, not just respect. Something like trust. He looked at the human captain, who now had blood on his face from a small cut. You saw the pipe. How? The captain shrugged. We look for patterns. Always have. On Earth, one mistake kills everyone. So we learn fast. The fighting slowed as night came. The base was half taken. The Alliance held strong ground. The Casualty report arrived late that night. Lyak, 5 more dead, total now lower than expected. Krieg, for more dead. Other races, 6 more. Humans, 75 more dead, total over 120 now. The council room watched the numbers. Zotrar spoke quietly. Our losses are slowing. Theirs are not. A voice from the back said, They are taking the hits, so we do not. Hiddib's voice came over the comm again. This time it was firm. They are not dying for nothing. They are changing how we fight. Human eyes, Lyak minds, Krieg strength. Together we are something new. The room stayed silent. The poison trap was meant to break them. Instead, it showed the truth. Humans did not just survive. They made everyone else survive better. And the enemy still had more traps waiting. The galaxy was starting to understand. Humans were not the weak link. They were the key. Night on Plaxia Prime was darker than space itself. No stars showed through the thick smoke and poison clouds. The Alliance had taken half the enemy fortress. But the enemy was not done. They sent their worst weapon yet. Elite killers. These were not drones or normal soldiers. These were monsters bred for war, tall as 2 Krieg stacked, with long razor claws, thick scales, and eyes that glowed yellow in the dark. They moved like shadows, fast and silent. Their claws cut through armor like paper. One swipe could split a Thull in half. The attack came at midnight. Alarm screamed. The ground shook as the monsters charged through the broken walls. They hit the front line hard. A Vexor flyer tried to rise and shoot from above. A monster jumped, impossible high, and pulled him down. Wings tore. Screams cut short. Krieg warriors formed a wall of shells. Claws smashed against them. Shells cracked. Green blood sprayed. One Krieg fell. Then another. Hiddib stood in the center, trying to use his mind powers. He reached into monsters' thoughts. But their minds were empty. Pure rage, no fear, no control. Nothing to twist. A monster lunged at him. Claws raised to finish the job. Hiddib froze. He saw death coming. Then a human jumped in front. The human captain, no helmet now, face covered in dirt and blood, slammed into the monster. He had no fancy weapon left. His rifle was empty. He used it like a club, smashing the monster's face. The monster roared and slashed back. Claws ripped across the human's chest. Blood poured out, but the human did not fall. He grabbed the monster's arm, twisted, and drove his combat knife into its eye. The monster screamed and dropped. Hiddib stared. You saved me. The captain coughed blood. Team's not done yet. More monsters came. The Alliance line started to break. Then something changed in the humans. They got mad. No more careful shots. No more hiding behind cover. They screamed, raw, angry war cries that echoed across the battlefield. They charged. One human picked up a broken piece of metal and threw it like a spear. It hit a monster's throat. Dead. Another human ran straight at a monster, jumped on its back, and wrapped his arms around its neck. He squeezed hard while stabbing again and again. The monster thrashed but fell. A small group of humans found enemy grenades on the ground. One human rigged them together with wire from his pack. Fast, like he had done 100 times. He threw the bundle into a group of 3 monsters. Boom! Pieces flew everywhere. They fought dirty. They used rocks. Broken claws from dead monsters. Even their own blood-slick hands to slip and grab. They did not care about pain. They laughed sometimes, wild, crazy laughs, even as they bled. Hiddib watched in silence. His mind reached out again. This time he felt it. Humans were not thinking about survival. They were thinking about winning, about protecting the team, about making sure no one else died today. The monsters started to slow. They were strong, but humans were endless in their anger. Every time one human fell, 2 more took his place. The line held. Then it pushed back. Humans led the charge now. Lyak minds followed, confusing the monsters from behind. Krieg dug quick pits to trap legs. Humans finished them with precise shots or brutal close fights. The enemy elite killers broke. They ran back into the fortress. For the first time, they looked afraid. The battlefield went quiet except for heavy breathing and moans of the wounded. Hiddib walked to the human captain. The captain sat against a broken wall, holding his torn chest. blood everywhere. But he was alive. Why? Hidib asked. You could have stayed back. You almost died for me. The captain looked up, eyes hard but calm. Because if I let you die, we lose. And we don't lose. Hidib had no words. The casualty report came at dawn. Enemy elite killers, almost all dead. Thousands gone. Alliance losses in the night fight. Lyak, 2 dead. Krieg, 3 dead. Other races, 4 dead. Humans, over 80 more dead. Total human dead, now past 200. The council room watched the numbers in shock. Zotrar's voice was low. How? A Krieg general clicked slowly. They turned monsters into meat. Our best barely bled. Hidib spoke over the comm. His voice was different now. Strong. Sure, they did not fight for medals. They fought for us. They got angry when we were in danger. And when humans get angry, the enemy dies. The room stayed silent. The galaxy had written humans off as weak. But tonight, humans showed the truth. They were not just helpers. When pushed, they became something unstoppable. And the final push into the enemy core was coming. The war was about to end, but not the way anyone expected. The enemy core waited at the heart of the fortress. A massive dome of black steel and glowing red energy shields. Inside was their final leader, a giant brain-like creature wired into machines, controlling every drone and soldier left. If it died, the war ended. If it lived, Plaxia Prime stayed lost forever. The Alliance was tired. Many were wounded. Ammo was low, but they had one last push. Hidib gathered the remaining leaders in a broken tunnel. His blue eyes were steady now. The core is protected by the last shields and guards. We go in together. Lyak mines to find the weak point. Krieg to break the door. Humans, you lead the charge. The human captain, chest wrapped in bloody bandages, nodded once. We'll clear the path. No laughs this time. No jokes about weakness. Everyone knew the truth now. They moved out at first light. The red sun rose like blood in the sky. The enemy threw everything at them. Drones swarmed from above. Laser turrets fired nonstop. Ground troops charged in waves. Humans went first. They ran straight into the fire. No cover. No hesitation. Guns blazing. Short, accurate bursts that dropped drones one by one. They threw the last grenades exactly where shields were weakest. Explosions cracked the energy field. A group of humans reached the main door. Krieg rushed up behind them and started digging at the base. Claws tore metal. Sparks flew. Lyak mines pushed forward. They found the brain creature's thoughts, cold, calculating fear. They sent images of defeat. The creature screamed inside its machines. The door cracked open. Humans poured through first. Inside was chaos. Guards, big, armored things with plasma blades, met them head-on. Humans fought like they were born for it. One slid under a blade, shot upward into the guard's neck. Another jumped on a guard's back, stabbed through the helmet gaps. They used the environment. Pipes for cover, fallen enemies as shields, broken wires to trip legs. One human yelled over the noise. For the team! Keep moving. He took 3 plasma hits to the body. He kept firing until he dropped. His friends dragged his body back while still shooting. Hidib felt it in his mind. The human's last thought was not pain. It was, did we win the door? They did. Krieg finished the breach. The dome opened wide. The brain creature was huge. Pulsing red mass in the center, connected by cables. It sent a final wave of drones. Humans met them. They formed a living wall. Every shot counted. Every step forward cost blood. Hidib reached out with his full power. He twisted the creature's thoughts, made it see its own defeat over and over. The creature panicked. Cables sparked. Machines overheated. A small team of humans, only 5 left, ran straight at the core. One carried the last big explosive from his pack. They fought through the last guards. One by one, they fell. But the last human reached the brain. He slammed the charge onto the pulsing mass. Fire in the hole. He hit the trigger. The explosion lit the dome like a second sun. The brain creature died screaming. The machines shut down. Drones dropped from the sky. Enemy soldiers froze, then ran. The fortress was taken. The Alliance stood in the smoke. Alive, breathing. Hittib looked around. His people, Lyak, Krieg, Vexer, Tho, were mostly whole, wounded but standing. The humans, many were gone. The final casualty report came as the sun climbed higher. Enemy forces, all dead, captured, or fled. The Brain leader destroyed. Alliance losses in the final push. Lyak, 1 dead. Krieg, 0 dead. Vexer, 1 dead. Other races, 2 dead. Humans, over 100 more dead. Total human dead now past 300. But the total Allied casualties for the whole war were shockingly low. Compared to any past war on Plaxia Prime, the Alliance should have lost thousands. They lost less than 200 in total, because humans took the worst of every fight. Zotrar watched the numbers on the command ship. His silver skin looked pale. 97% enemy kill rate, he whispered. Almost no losses for our best races. Hittib's voice came through, calm and clear. They were not meat shields. They were force multipliers. Human courage. Human eyes. Human will. They made us stronger than we have ever been. The council room was silent. No one laughed now. No one called humans weak. They had won the impossible victory. But the cost was written in human blood, and the galaxy would never forget the numbers. The war was over, but the story of humans had just begun. The command ship hung high above Plaxia Prime, like a silent giant. Inside the Galactic Council chamber, the air felt heavy. The glowing hologram in the center showed the final numbers one more time. Everyone stared. No one spoke for a long minute. President Zotrar stood on his platform. His silver skin looked dull now, like it had lost its shine. He read the report out loud, slow and clear. Total enemy forces. Destroyed or captured. Plaxia Prime. Secured. Alliance casualties across the entire war. Lyak, 38 dead. Krieg, 27 dead. Vexer, 22 dead. Tho and others, 41 dead. Total elite races lost, 128. Humans, 312 dead. He stopped. His long fingers shook a little as he lowered the hologram pad. In any past war on this planet, Zotrar said quietly, we would have lost thousands. Our best warriors would be gone. But this time, because of humans, our losses are less than 200 in total. A low murmur started. Some leaders looked angry. Some looked afraid. A Vexer leader flapped his wings hard. This is not right. Humans die so many, yes, but they make us look weak. We sent our finest, and they needed soft-skinned primitives to save them. A Tho rumbled deep in his chest. They took hits meant for us. They charged first. They found traps we missed. Without them, we would all be dead now. The room split. Voices rose. Ban them, one leader shouted. They are too dangerous. If they can do this to our enemies, what happens when they turn on us? Another voice cut in. We need them. Look at the numbers. They turned a suicide mission into victory. Zotrar raised his hand. Silence fell again. Hittib's hologram appeared in the center. He stood tall, blue eyes steady. Behind him, the red dust of Plaxia Prime still swirled. I was there, Hittib said. I laughed at them at first. I told them to stay back. I thought they were nothing. He paused. His voice became softer, almost respectful. Then I saw them pull my wounded from poison gas. I saw them jump in front of claws to save me. I saw them fight monsters with broken rifles and bare hands. They laughed while bleeding. They never ran. They never quit. He looked straight at the council. They did not fight for glory. They did not fight for medals. They fought because we were their team, because friends matter to them. And when humans decide you are worth protecting, nothing stops them. A Krieg general clicked slowly. They made us better. Our minds, our strength, their eyes and will. Together, we were unstoppable. Zotrar looked around the room. Fear was in many eyes now. Not just fear of humans, but fear of what the galaxy had missed for so long. We wrote them off, Zotrar said. We called them weak, primitive, useless. We sent them to die first, thinking it would prove our point. He looked at the casualty list again. But the numbers do not lie. Humans died fast, but they made sure our people died slow. Almost never. He turned to the hologram of Hittib. What do you say, Commander? Should we fear them or welcome them? Hittib answered without pause. Both. Fear them if you are their enemy. Welcome them if you are their friend. Because the galaxy will never be the same now that humans are here. The room stayed quiet. No more laughs. No more jokes. The council leaders looked at each other. Some nodded slowly. Some still looked uneasy. Zotrar spoke one last time. The war is over. Plaxia Prime is free. But a new truth has arrived with the casualty reports. He looked into the camera, as if speaking to the whole galaxy. Humans are not what we thought. They are survivors. They are protectors. They are something the stars have not seen before. He closed the hologram. And from today, we will never write them off again. Back on the planet, the last humans stood among the ruins. Some bandaged, some limping. But they helped carry wounded aliens to ships. They shared water. They smiled tired smiles. The galaxy had come to laugh at them. Now it watched in silence, and in fear, and in wonder. The story was not finished. But the old story, the one where humans were weak, was dead forever. The victory ceremony happened on the cracked red plains of Plaxia Prime. The Alliance ships stood tall like silent guardians. The sky was finally clear. No more poison clouds, no more drones. Only the red sun and the quiet wind. Leaders from every race gathered in a wide circle. President Zotrar floated at the center on his platform. He looked smaller now, not from weakness, but from something new, humility. Medals were given, shining discs of rare metal, each one carved with a symbol of the Galactic Council. First to the Lyak for their mind control that broke enemy lines, then to the Krieg for tunnels that saved lives. Vexer got theirs for airstrikes, Thul for standing like walls. Then Zotrar called the last name. Humans. The remaining human soldiers stepped forward. Only about 60 left from the original 200. Bandages covered arms and chests. Some limped. Faces were tired, scarred, dirty, but their eyes were steady. They stood straight. Zotrar spoke slowly. You came as volunteers. We thought you would die first. We thought you would run. We were wrong. He lowered his voice. You lost more than anyone. 312 of your people gave their lives so that ours could live. You turned a war we expected to lose into a victory we never dreamed of. He held out the medals. One by one, humans stepped up. No big smiles. No cheers. Just a quiet nod as each medal was placed around their necks. The last one was a human captain. His chest was still wrapped in fresh bandages. He walked with a slight limp. Zotrar looked him in the eyes. Why? Zotrar asked, why did you fight so hard? Why did you die for races that laughed at you? The captain looked around, at the Lyak, the Krieg, the others who now watched in silence. Because once we start something, we finish it, he said simply. And because friends matter. You became our friends. We don't leave friends behind. Zotrar felt something strange in his chest. Not fear anymore. Not just respect. Something deeper. He spoke to the whole gathering. The casualty reports told the truth we refuse to see. Humans die fast when the fight is hard, but they make sure the enemy dies faster. And when humans stand with you, your own death becomes very rare. He turned to the captain. The galaxy wrote you off. We were blind. From this day, humans are not newcomers. They are equals. They are needed. They are something the stars have waited for. A low cheer started. First from the Krieg, sharp clicks of approval. Then Lyak minds sent waves of warm respect. Vexer wings flapped in rhythm. Thul rumbled deep laughs. The humans did not cheer loud. They just looked at each other and gave small nods, like it was enough. Later, as ships prepared to leave, Zotrar met the captain one last time, alone on the edge of the landing field. You changed everything. Zotrar said, what happens now? The captain looked at the stars. We go home, heal, train, then wherever the galaxy needs us next. Zotrar nodded slowly. And if someone tries to write you off again? The captain smiled just a small, tired smile. Then we remind them, with numbers, with actions, with everything we've got. He turned and walked back to his people. Zotrar watched him go. The old galaxy, the one that laughed at the weak, that trusted only power and tech, was gone. A new one was born on Plaxia Prime. Humans were here. They bled for others. They never quit. They turned the impossible into victory. And when the casualty reports came in, they always told the same story. Humans, fuck yeah. The war ended. But the legend had just started. And the galaxy would never be the same.